In this tutorial, we are going to show how to use the Live Record tool for capturing sporadic failures. Live Record allows us to generate precise recordings of the programs that we want to debug. This can be supplied either as commands to execute or as process IDs. By default, Live Record saves the recording when the debuggee finishes its execution. In addition, if the debuggee is interrupted before it runs its course, Live Record will terminate the recording process and save the recording up to that point. Finally, we can specify certain circumstances under which Live Record will save a recording. Let's look at how this is done in more detail. In order to specify the circumstances under which we want Live Record to save a recording, we need to use the Save On option. This accepts the following arguments. Failure. In this case, Live Record will save the recording if the debuggee returns a non-zero exit value. Success, which is complementary to the failure case. Signal. Here, Live Record generates a recording if the debuggee terminates due to an unhandled signal. Detach will determine Live Record to save the recording when the user interrupts it while being attached to a process. If unsupported is specified, Live Record will only save a recording if the debuggee performs an operation that Live Record cannot handle, such as executing an instruction it cannot decode. Finally, error is a more comprehensive circumstance, subsuming the failure, signal, and unsupported circumstances. Now let's see how we can use Live Record in order to generate recordings of sporadically failing programs. Suppose that we have a program that executes correctly most of the times, but sometimes, very rarely, it graciously fails, returning a non-zero exit code. In such a situation, we can use the Save On Failure option to capture a recording through Live Record. This program is designed to have a very low probability of returning a non-zero exit code. To be more precise about its failure rate, we can run it in a loop. After 10,000 iterations, the failure rate is about 3%. Switching to a debugging scenario, we want to capture a recording of the program while it fails, i.e., it returns a non-zero exit code. We can achieve this by using a while loop that runs until a first recording is generated. In case we want to record a program that crashes sporadically when it can't handle a given signal, we will use Live Record's Save On Signal option. We will now start a program that prints its process ID, then runs a never-ending loop. From a different terminal, we will send it a signal that will make the program crash. Now let's repeat the process, but this time run the program under Live Record, with the Save On Failure option activated. We can notice that a recording was not generated, although the program crashed. Finally, let's use the Save On Signal option. As we can see, Live Record has generated a recording this time. In this tutorial, we have looked at the various ways in which Live Recorder can be used for generating recordings of sporadically failing programs, specified either as commands to execute or as process IDs. The key here is using the Save On option while running Live Record in a loop. In the case of programs failing graciously, we will use the Save On Failure option. For programs that crash due to unhandled signals, we will use the Save On Signal option. Finally, if we want to cover all failure scenarios, we will use the Save on Error option. For more information, visit Undo's documentation page at docs.undo.io.